Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the finals. We're talking about the loadouts, the builds, the play styles, all of that for the medium. We do have tutorials for heavy and light, so go check those out after this. But let's get into the medium. And what you're watching right now is one of the best when it comes to support roles, but still being able to dominate and be aggressive and get a lot of kills in this game. The medium, to me, is the best class in the game. It's the most versatile. You can really have a lot of fun being anything and everything, whether it's supportive, clutch player, most kills. You can pretty much do it all. And we're going to have multiple play styles and different loadouts setups to showcase right now. So just to get into it, starting off with the healing beam. In your team, there has to be one person with a healing beam. No matter what, if you want to be a winning team, it's important. It can help you stay alive, and it's going to dominate big time. Okay, there have been times I popped off, I was hurt, I went to cover, my tank came out of cover, and the heavy was shooting. He was getting shot while he was out of cover, but I kept healing him, and he ended up eliminating a full squad while I was just healing him and healing up outside of cover. So I mean, in cover, I'm sorry. And that's the general breakdown why this is the best in the whole game. This is literally the best item, weapon, everything. There's nothing better than this. Okay. That being said, secondary for every single medium, no matter what type of play style and the different variations I'll give you today, a defibrillator is important. This is the only class that has it. It's the only people that can instantly revive their teammates. It's incredibly important. All right. That being said, the weapon, of course, is probably another very important part of it, but there are debates here. Okay, you have the F car, which will give you longer range, but it has a smaller clip. But the AKM will allow you to dominate. You can take out 2 or 3 players if you can hit your shots and really dominate with this. I've been doing some clutch plays with the AKM, and I absolutely love it. And I think it is the one to use right now until maybe a buff or nerf to other weapons. We'll see what happens from there. Now, the jump pad is the most versatile, simple to use. You just throw it down and get a nice little traversal ability. They do have the second version of that, which is the zip line, which is just as good and actually has other ways to be used. You can travel faster just by putting a zip line up. There's little things with the zip line that people don't know, like breaking it when you are up high somewhere. You can break it with 2 melee hits, and then you can go from there and you're good to go. That being said, the jump pad's normal for everybody to use, and just a simple version of that where you don't have to think too hard about it. Okay, now the reason I have the sonar, the number one reason I have the sonar, is because I wanted to play a little more aggressive. I wanted to get information from my team and be a supporter, not just with heals or revives. I wanted to be able to do what one of the specializations do, which is the recon specialization. It's, instead of having that, I have the sonar grenades. I throw them into the building where they're capping. Now I know where everybody is. It helps the team win. You get 2 of them, and they'll keep on refreshing. In the middle of a fight, you don't need 100 of these. You pop 2 of them, you fight, you wipe the team, and then you go back in. And by the time another team comes, you'll probably have 2 more. You can continue to go from there. So this is why I think sonar is super critical. And this is the normal build to play with. Okay. There's other methods when it comes to the medic. Of course, switching out specific little things, and we're not going to go too crazy with it. But one example is this gas mine. It's an incredible tool. It is not the most powerful. Of course, you can always go with an explosion mine. I love that. Those 2 right there are the main ones as far as traps go. But this is if you're going to be holding objectives and you're going to play more campy, controlling a position without having all these other devices. You can do that. And so those 2 are the main 2 to play with. Personally, I like the pyro grenades, and the reason for this is because you throw them into where somebody's trying to cap and you know that they're in there. It'll keep them off of the objective for a little while. You throw it right on the objective. You got time to reload, to heal up, or do whatever you need to do in the game. Very, very critical. Okay. Personally, I want to continue to try out things like the trap, the glitch trap, but I don't know about that. I'm not really too familiar right now. What I love is the tracking dart. I know this isn't for everybody and it's going to be very skill based focused, but the tracking dart is a really good way. You basically keeping track of somebody. If you can hit them from far and you're playing a little more cautiously, you're going to be able to do some good stuff. This is my current setup. I would change something like adding another explosive mine, and now this is more campy, holding a position, and you can control it. And you're going to add these into your playstyle. You can replace the sonar. You know, you can do different things. Always keep the defibrillator and of course your weapon. But that is the setup. And then yes, last but not least, this right here, the recon senses are extremely powerful for a team who could communicate and do things like that. The torrents is when you're trying to camp and hold that position. Very, very, very good stuff. And there's a lot of different methods depending on the players and depending on the mentalities. But that is the general breakdown for the mediums at the moment. Of course, the teams are going to put updates and patches and change the game on how they feel. But I just wanted to give my experience with this game. And remember, I played all the betas and tests in the past before this game released. It's a new game compared to what it was. So can't believe the old information. Go by what's up to date and what's now. And this will change. So stay tuned. Go watch the light or heavy right after this. Thank you for tuning in.